But anyway,
First Corinthians, before you go, last point.
the past.
1 Corinthians 15:24. Sorry, 15. I'll read it from 15:23.
It's very late now. I
Okay,
really need to
only three verses here. It says here, 1 Corinthians 15:20. This is 25. Yeah. For he must reign until he has put all his enemies under his feet. You know who's a he? That's Jesus. Yes. Until he's put all his enemies under his feet. Let me finish, and then you give a commentary.
But that means that could be interpreted in many different ways. Putting his feet would mean that you are above them.
Exactly. He hasn't even read it yet.
You're above them. You're like you know.
Sorry,
who
I'm
is,
like what?
Like under his feet, like you.
Enemies. He uses the word enemies there. What does enemies mean?
Yeah, someone who is against him.
And where does he put his enemies? Under his feet.
Yeah. So, but this can be like that. Justly will be done. You know, you can be interpreted in many different ways. You know, it doesn't mean that you need.
At least let me finish the passage so you understand.
To walk on them and.
I didn't say literally under his feet. Okay, under his feet means gets rid of them. Okay, and he says here, the last enemy to be destroyed is death, for he has put everything under his feet. Now, when it says that everything has been put under him, it is clear that this does not include God himself. Okay? Who put everything under Christ? When he has done this, then the Son himself will be made subject. Yes?
Yeah, you're talking about this is not.
Let me
These
finish.
are not the gospel.
Let me
these
finish.
are letters to the Corinthians.
Let me finish.
These are letters to the Corinthians.
Is it from God or not?
Yeah, but it's not.
But is it from God or not?
It's not a passage of Jesus. You said that you wanted to show me a passage where Jesus said many things or like very anti. Did you define him?
I can show you, but you said you don't have time. That's why I said I'll show you this quickly.
Pacifico.
Yeah.
This is not Jesus who's talking.
Have you got time?
So,
I can show you if you want. But you said you don't have time.
I don't understand why you're using that passage.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why.
About Jesus
if you let me finish, I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Hold on. It says here, anyone. Sorry, but
this is the letter to the Corinthians.
Yeah, I know.
Is the New Testament?
But is it from God or not?
As I said, you know, I'm not that sort of Christian who takes the Bible as the word of God. We've already discussed this. I don't know why you keep on making this question. I've said I don't take the Bible, any Bible, as the word of God, inerrable word of God. I think that in many passages of the Bible there is a lot of truth, and I think that they can be considered as being inspired. I love the book of Job. I love Proverbs. I love the Psalms. I love the Gospels. There's so many nice, or Genesis I think is brilliant in many passages. In the way it describes, you know.
So in other words, you're cherry picking.
There's so many things. Yes.
So all the pacifist verses are good for him. All the things that doesn't agree with his whims and desires, he gets rid of them.
On this topic, I agree with Richard Dawkins. Richard Dawkins said that, but this applies not just to Christian. I think it applies to Muslim and to other people. That we usually pick and choose from the book.
You do actually. We don't do.
Yes.
We accept it as a whole, the Quran, as from Allah. We don't pick and choose like the way you do. And I know many Christians who don't pick and choose like you either.
I don't think that in your like you know, in the posters or whatever in your book you put the verses, the horrible verses of the Quran, and to show like to attract people to Islam. I don't think that you show them passages. The passages are hidden, and then when someone
passage is hidden, the Quran is public. What are you on about?
Yes, but you don't. But you don't.
We live in an age of internet where anyone can go and check anywhere.
There's so many
we don't live in a cave anymore.
They don't want to research. That's their problem.
Why you're saying it's hidden? I want to know why you're saying it's hidden. In the age of information,
no, but
it's not hidden anymore.
But you don't show them, like you don't publicly show these passages.
How do you know we don't show it publicly? How do you know? Have you actually researched every Muslim?
I would like to see. I mean, I've got some of your books, like you know, talk about the Islam, with all these, and there's none of the passages that can be found there.
None can be found where? In the Quran?
Oh, they talk about like the greatest of Muhammad or whatever.
Sorry,
the
nice, the what of Muhammad?
The grandeur, like so all these passages, they're all Pacific, they're all nice. There's nothing.
How many books of Islam have you read? Let's see. You haven't read your own Bible. How many books of Islam have you read?
No. I just
give me one name of a book of Islam you read. Go on. Give me one name. Only one.
No.
Only one.
No. I started reading the Quran now.
So have you read any books on Islam?
No,
Give me a name.
The small, like they gave me some of the small books. Like,
A booklet?
A booklet.
Yeah. So in
I
a small,
start reading
listen. In a small booklet, it must have a title, and if the title is about a specific passage or a specific topic, they will talk about that topic. They will not talk about everything in the Quran, will they?
No.
Now wait. With all due respect, from what I've noticed, you haven't read your own Bible.
God will punish the unbeliever. God will do this.
Yeah, but there's no secret. It's in the Quran, and the Quran is public.
All these passages like where God will punish. All this fear.
It's all in the Quran, bro. It's all in the Quran. It's not private.
Punishment. It's all about fear and punishment. I think it's just a way to kind of put fear on people.
So why is Islam the fastest growing religion with all that punishment? Tell me. If it was so, listen.
How can you see that?
Listen, I don't know why you're
inerrant word of God.
Okay, look, if you don't want to believe,
if you want to believe that, go for it.
Look,
I'm happy for
it's
you.
not for me to tell
If
you.
Want to see this,
it's not for me to force you to believe what you don't want to believe. But from the discussions that we have had, it looks like even you are suspicious about your own Bible.
Yes, of course I am.
Now,
I agree.
Now your criteria.
And I have no problem to say that in
can
the Bible
I
there are
ask
so
you
many
what's your
things I don't
criteria?
agree with.
What's your criteria to
My
this?
conscience, okay.
Okay, so in other words, whatever is your whims and desires, you decide.
No, it's not just.
Well, it is your. If it's your conscience, it's your whims and desires.
No, because the conscience is not about whims and desires.
What is conscience then?
Is a feeling. For example, as I said, if you look at something,
your feeling, your own understanding, your own logic, your own rational.
Always. No, because sometimes because sometimes you got feelings that they takes you somewhere that you feel is not right for you or for the person. You may have the desire to do something, which or for example your genes, or maybe you may have a sexual desire, and you know that maybe it's not right for that person, and so your conscience is telling you no, that's not.
No,
right.
I'm not saying
even if you got your genomes and your biology, which pushing.
But we are not talking about your desires of evil that you don't want to do.
So
that's different.
It's a very clear concept. And I think that everyone, and also...
Can the conscience be wrong? Can the conscience be wrong?
By the way, yes. Also, the conscience of the people...
No, can your conscience be wrong?
Yes.
So your assumption about the Bible or the Quran, can it be wrong?
Let me finish this. My conscience be wrong, as well as the conscience of the people who are the authority in Islam, who decide what needs to be considered and interpreted this way, and what needs
Only
to be
Islam
considered
or
and
Christianity?
interpreted in that way.
What about Christianity?
In both.
Okay,
both.
so in other words, you do not believe in the scriptures. Listen, in other words, you do not believe in the scriptures which are from God. You would rather believe your conscience. Is that right?
I try to follow my conscience, and when I see that my conscience is completely against the evidence or whatever, so then I usually follow
using your conscience only, let me ask you this question. If you happen to see someone who has been convicted of rape, yes, how would you punish them? Just using your conscience only. How would you punish them? Or would you not punish them at all?
Someone who's rape?
Yeah, who's been convicted of rape.
I think we go pretty good law on that. I think they need to go in jail, and they need to be re-educated.
How long for?
I don't know. I don't know the laws.
Now you're using on other people? Why? You said your own consciousness. What happened? Why did you suddenly depend on the law of the land?
Put them in jail
for how long?
Until when they done a program to recovery, and I can be.
Oh, you mean a rehabilitation program?
Yes, a rehabilitation program in jail.
Right. How long for?
Until I can see that there is clear, how can I say, improvement, or that person will actually recognize what they've done, and there is actually. Yeah, they okay, we can kind of understand that they
give me a max number of time that you'll put them in that prison. Max, give me a max. In your conscience.
It depends on so many. You need to consider so many different variables. You need to consider what was the state of a person, or what was the social situation. What was he persuaded by someone? What the age? What is the motive? You need to look at many things. You can't just say, oh, for the rape. Rape, it can be in different contexts. It can be in different time. It can, it depends. Has he raped a child of 10 years old, or has he raped a woman who was showing her teeth for like an hour, and she was persuading him to have sex, and then all of a sudden she changed her mind? I mean, you need to consider a lot of different.
Okay, I said, you know when I say convicted? Listen, the only reason somebody gets convicted is because the judge looks at all those factors.
Yes.
And afterwards, they convict him of rape. That's why I told you to save time, because I know you'll go into this psychoanalysis again. I told you he's convicted. Okay? Convicted means he's been found guilty that he is a rapist. Now the question to you is, how will you punish them? You said a rehabilitation program.
It depends on other variables.
What to give you a scenario? Yeah?
Okay.
A man who is completely mentally stable.
Yeah.
Okay. He rapes, let's say, a 10-year-old girl, and he's probably like what?
Let's say he rapes a teenager who's coming from school, who's coming back from school, and he rapes her on the way.
Social situation,
Yes.
the third part has a beautiful upbringing.
He just felt the urge to rape her
Yeah.
because he's been watching too much pornography, maybe.
Yeah.
Yes, which is really a factor in many cases.
I
Yes.
don't know, like about 20 years of jail and then
20 years
with
of
a
jail?
program of
Wow,
rehabilitation.
that's really good for a pacifist. Actually, I would.
Something like that, and then I will.
And let's say-
I will make a program of rehabilitation. And
Let's say he comes out of jail after 20 years, and then he rapes again. What will you do then? Second reoffending, second
again
time.
in jail, probably.
Another rehabilitation program? Another 20 years? Let's say he does it again. Then what?
No.
And by the way,
Maybe-
this is not unrealistic. Reoffending of many rapists is a real thing. So it's not just not something I'm just telling you out of a hypothetical situation. I'm telling you of real situation, because by the way, in this country they give maybe 2 or 3 years, not 20 years to a rapist
At that stage, I will probably put them in jail until the end.
until they die. Okay? And that is the law according to you. What is the law according to God? Let's see which one you obey now. What's the law according to God in your New Testament for a rapist?
Again, to my New Testament.
Yes.
You still don't understand my point.
I understood
My
your point.
no,
I'm
my
saying
point-
because your
my
laws.
My point is that I grew up as a Christian, and I think that Jesus is the core of Christianity, and I try to follow Jesus as an example. And I think.
So what's his
as a
example for a rapist?
morally-
What's his
morally-
example for a rapist?
It's
What is the
not for them-
punishment?
Oh, it would be better for them to have a cord around the neck, he said.
Say again?
It would be better for them to have a cord, but he didn't say you have to take them and put a cord around their neck.
Where
He
does it
didn't
say that to put a cord around a rapist's neck? Where does it say that?
Oh, you
I think
didn't-
you just made that up
No. This is Jesus' word.
for a rapist.
Oh yes.
What did he say again?
He said it would be better for them. No, for who scandalize one of the children. He
Thank
said.
you.
The children, yeah. So he said it would be better for them to.
My
have
question to you was about a
cord
rapist.
around their neck.
My question was about a rapist. Once again, from the example of Jesus, from what he has taught you, because
late, I
because
need
you
to
said
go.
your best
They
example
call
was Jesus, what would be the punishment according to the New Testament? Because what he just said is actually not in the New Testament, to put him for 20 years in jail and a rehabilitation program. And that's why I told you earlier, whatever ideas that you have about the different ways of life, about the punishments, about the reward, is from your liberal secular upbringing. It's not from the Bible, my friend.
I think that's a great.
So your example is not that of Jesus, but of liberalized
I think that
person.
our law has a great. We have a great achievement in society, whereby we can decide together. I mean, based on our conscience, and try to find the best solution, solution of punishment for people who have committed offences, whatever, and try to understand based on the circumstances, based on the information available, and try to decide what is the best, rather than taking a book old like 1,000 and say, oh, this is what is written in the book. That's right. Let's do it.
Why didn't you say that from the
Absolutely-
beginning? It would have saved us so much
that's
time.
Absolutely.
If
crazy.
your entire
just
listen,
absolutely crazy.
if your entire moral compass is based on the liberal secular world that
listen, honestly.
I listen to you, now listen to me.
This
You
is-
said
this
earlier
is
Jesus
very,
was the
very-
example.
this is
Now you have
dangerous.
completely backtracked and said
dangerous.
secularism is my example. Have you realized that? For a person who studies psychology, you keep contradicting yourself every time.
not
Yes,
necessarily.
you said your example was that of Jesus. Did you not say that? And all of a sudden it became the secular world. My God, you have made a complete U-turn from Jesus to a secular world now.
You can
Wait.
still-
What is the example of Jesus in a rapist situation? You know, for a murderer, for a rapist, for a thief, there is no punishment in your New Testament for these guys. And that's why when I asked you earlier, will you even have an army for your nation of which you are the head of state? You said no. Neither in a secular world you would fail, In a world where Jesus is followed, you will fail. That is what happens to someone who only believes in his own consciousness.
Okay, so what would be the punishment then for someone that's like?
If you're asking me from the point of view from his... Now wait a minute. I asked you this question from the New Testament. Do you have an answer for that or not? For a rapist?
I don't know.
Good, then go read your Bible before you tell us what is wrong with the Quran or the Bible. You really have to read your Bible. And don't just depend on your own self. Your Bible. Because that is what he said. Your whims and desires is what's ruling you, my friend. It's not the Bible. It's not Jesus.
I think that whoever follows conscience.
Anyway, I think we should wrap up now. Because you have been here a long time. It's not fair to you either. But thank you for your time once again.
The conscience.
Your conscience failed you. I told you already. I said it because in the liberal sense you went against.
If you're honest with yourself,
Yeah, but that's subjective, isn't it? When you say honest with myself, it's subjective.
you just need to be honest with yourself.
Yeah, but what does that mean? Honesty itself, in the case what you're saying, like how much punishment a rapist will get or a murderer will get, are you honest to yourself that you will not need an army? Are you honest with yourself? Are you looking at the real world and then being honest with yourself?
In this word, yes, of course I would need it.
Yeah, but that's the question I asked you. Didn't I ask him? I asked him about this world. I didn't ask you about Mars or Jupiter. I asked you if you were ruling a country, would you need an army? And you said no.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but if I had to create a word,
Yeah, but we don't live in a utopia where you have a fantasy. I didn't ask you about your fantasy. I asked about the real world.
in this word, maybe I would have an army.
Now it's a
but I
maybe.
would- but
Still
I
a
would-
maybe?
But
Still a maybe?
I would have an army. But
Thank you.
I wouldn't attack anyone.
If they attacked you, what would you do?
Maybe I would try to defend. Yeah.
That's called using force. Defend means using force. So you'll have to buy weapons, you'll have to train your army, you'll have to show them how to shoot the enemy, and you'll have to shoot the enemy ultimately which is a part of the defense. See what happens when you use your consciousness only? You fail all around, my friend. And you have proved it. Anyway, thanks for your time, mate.
Before you said the conversation wasn't getting anywhere, now it's got everywhere. Let's be honest.
Anyway, thanks a lot, mate. Yeah? Jazak Allah.